You fine folks have been acknowledged. Metal Driver here, and today I am looking at Elite Series 103 Stardust. We get an image of Stardust on the side and on the back, along with some information and the rest of the figures that are in this wave. Alright, I can't wait to open this. I've always wanted a Stardust. I'm excited. I am pumped. I am lying. I don't give a crap about Stardust. In fact, I hate the character. I never liked it. I always felt bad for Cody when he was forced to do this gimmick, or at least forced to stay in this gimmick longer than it should have lasted. You might be wondering, if I hate Stardust, why am I reviewing this? Well, because honestly, I just wanted to have this as part of my collection, because it is part of Cody Rhodes' legacy, no pun intended. And even though I wasn't really asking for this or clamoring for this, I don't have another Stardust in my collection, so it's nice to have this one. So my personal bias aside, I'm going to go ahead and look at this objectively and give you a fair review on whether this is worth it or not, let you know if it's a good figure. And with that being said, let's go ahead and open this up and take a closer look at Stardust. Here we get a 360 look at Stardust. We see all the details on the figure, and it comes with some accessories that include gripping gloved hands that have yellow painted on, and I'm going to say that they could have used an extra coat of paint. This is something that I'm noticing on the figure, and we'll look at that a little bit more in a bit. But the coolest piece of accessory that we get is this ladder, and it's got polka dots all over the ladder, because this release is based on his WrestleMania 32 appearance, and he did use a polka dot ladder in that event. And it functions just like any ladder that we've gotten from Mattel, so it folds and unfolds, and you can use it as such in your playtime, or if you want to just pose it. So I like this. I like when we get weapons like this, especially big ones like ladders and tables. Then take a look at the head sculpt, and I'm going to be honest, I am disappointed. Not because it's bad, it's just I don't like this expression. See, whenever I think about Stardust, and trust me, I try not to, he's always smiling, he's got this goofy expression, kind of reminds me of a 1960s Batman villain. He's very expressive, and this head scan, he's not. He's very serious, stoic. It's a very vanilla head sculpt. So it would have been nice to get a head sculpt with an expression like on the side of the box with his little sinister smile. So that is disappointing. However, what's not is the paint application. The face paint looks really good, painted well. Some good clean line work, good paint on the lips, good painted dots right here at the top of the point on this star. And the hair sculpt is nice. You get some black ears. Right there, the silver is painted really well. So I'm really happy with how the paint looks. Again, I just would have preferred a smiling head sculpt. Then look at the torso. We get this painted star that we see on most of Stardust's attires. This one is in yellow on a black bodysuit, and we get the yellow polka dots throughout in reference to his father. And then, speaking of which, on the back it says Hard Times. It's painted well, good clean line work, so the paint application on these two words are really nice. The polka dots throughout are painted well enough. Could have used perhaps an extra coat of yellow paint. There are going to be spots where you can see some of the black seeping through, but aside from that, it is painted well. And then we do get the hands in order to do the Stardust pose. Let me go ahead and do that while looking at the camera lens. Okay, so that actually looks really good. So it's nice. With the previous Stardust figure that was released with Mattel many years ago, I don't think the hands were like this. This is back when they did not have interchangeable hands and not double jointed elbows, so it's nice to have that. You can actually do that with Stardust, so for you Stardust fans out there, now you can do this. The paint on the yellow on the bottom side of the gloves does need an extra coat of paint. You can see that there's some black seeping through on this thumb right here, so that's kind of annoying. Then look at the legs. Black legs, yellow polka dots, and some standard black boots. Going over the articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It looks that high up, that far down, can turn side to side and tilt very well. Shoulder goes that high up. Rotates all the way around, a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, a swivel and hinge at the wrist. He crunches that far forward, goes that far back, so not the best range on the torso. Can't turn side to side. Legs go that far out and that high up, so pretty good range on the hips. Thigh cut, double jointed knees, a cut at the top of the boot, ankle goes that high up, that far down, and he does have some slight ankle pivot. Here we have the new Elite 103 Stardust next to Elite 101 Cody Rhodes and the new top picks Cody Rhodes. Alright, so I did say I would give an objective and fair review on this figure. So is it better than the previous Elite one that we got many years ago? Absolutely. Is it a fantastic figure that you have to have in your collection? No. I mean, it's certainly an improvement over the previous one. However, if you don't care about Stardust, then the improvements on this really isn't enough for me to say you need this. I mean, if you want to have every piece of Cody's career in your collection, then yes, absolutely you'd want this in your collection. I mean, that's the whole reason why I bought it, despite not liking Stardust. And speaking of not liking, I don't like this head scan. Not sure why Mattel decided to give us a stoic Stardust, maybe because it's different than the previous one, sure, but I would have been happier with a smiling head sculpt, but that's just me. Now there is a chase version of this with blue instead of yellow, and that one looks better than this one. But I wasn't going to spend extra money on a Stardust, so I went with this one instead, and it's fine for the most part. Not a bad figure, could have used a better head scan, but it's an improvement over the last one. It's got a nice accessory here. So if you like Stardust, or if you want to have this piece of Cody in your collection, then yeah, it's a pretty solid pickup. And also hitting that like button and subscribing would also be pretty solid. If you want to see more wrestling figure reviews, click on the card at the end of the video, and I'll see you next time.